Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be learning about how to factor trinomials. Let's get started. So let's start off with something simple. What is factoring? Factoring is basically when you have a polynomial like this, and you take it and you turn it into something like this. So both of these are equal to each other. But what factoring does is takes us from this all the way to this. So this process right here is called factoring. So how would you factor a trinomial? Let's start off by revising the standard form for a trinomial. Ax squared plus bx plus c. When the a value is equal to 1, then what we can do is factor this polynomial using this rule. So that would be the same thing as x plus m times x plus n. And m and n are just other variables that we have that are going to be subbed in for numbers. Now, this only works if m times n is equal to c and m plus n is equal to b. So this can basically be summed up by the following. When a equals 1, ax squared plus bx plus c can be equal to x plus m times x plus n if m times n is equal to c and m plus n is equal to b. Now that we have our basic rule, let's go on to some practice problems. So we have our problem and it's asking us to factor x squared plus 10x plus 24. So over here, our a is equal to 1 and it's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So the way I like to factor these is to take our c value right here and list out all of its factors. So let's list them out. We have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. These are our factor pairs for 24. So, since m times n has to equal our c value, then I know that m and n have to be one of these factor pairs here. So, to find out which of these factor pairs it is, I go and I add up the factors to see what it will give me, because m plus n should equal to b, and our b value is 10. So add it up, whichever one equals 10, then we know that that one is our factor pair that we're using. So 1 plus 24 is 25, so that's out. 2 plus 12 is 14. That's not 10, so that's out. 3 plus 8 is 11, which isn't 10, so that's out. And 4 plus 6 is 10. So that's the factor pair that we're going to use, 4 and 6. So now we can write this out as our factors. So we know that m and n are 4 and 6 because multiplied they equal 24 and added they equal 10. So x plus 4 times x plus 6 is our answer. And you can always go back and check this if you're not completely sure. And you do that by foiling. So let's FOIL this out. When we FOIL this, we will get x times x is x squared, and then x times 6 plus 4 times x is going to give us 10x, and then 4 times 6 is 24. So multiplied out, this gives us the same thing as this. So our final answer is x plus 4 times x plus 6. Let's try another one. This time we have x squared plus 14x plus 40. So we're going to do the same thing that we did in our last problem. First thing being listing out the factors of the C value. These are our factor pairs of 40. Now we go on and we add to see which one adds up to 14. So 1 plus 40 is equal to 41, so that's not it. 2 plus 20 equals 22, so that's not it. 4 plus 10 is 14, so that's probably our one. The last one is 5 plus 8, which is 13, which confirms that 4 plus 10 is our one. So now we can just write this out as x plus 4 times x plus 10. And that is our final answer. Now let's move on to something a little bit trickier. So this one says x squared minus 4x plus 3. If you've noticed, the key difference in this one is that there is a negative here instead of it being added. So instead of it being added, it's being subtracted. So what do we do in this scenario? Well, in this scenario, the rules are still pretty much the same. M times n still has to equal c, and m plus n still has to equal b. But what did this tell us about m and m if we see that our b value is negative? What this tells us is that our m value and our n value are negative. How do I know this? Because if you take negative m and you multiply it by negative n, whatever you get out is going to be positive. And if you take negative m and you add negative n, whatever you get out is going to be negative. So over here, negative m times negative n is going to give you a positive c value. And negative m plus negative n is going to give you a negative b value. So if we look back at our trinomial, you can see that we have a negative b value and a positive c value. So that way we know that our m and our n are negative. Keeping this in mind, let's go ahead and solve this. So what we're going to do is what we've been doing so far, and we're going to be listing out our factors of 3. But this time we have to keep in mind that both m and n are negative. So we're going to list out our negative factors of 3. So we have negative 1 and negative 3, which equal 3. And that's about it. So negative 1 and negative 3 are the only factors that make up 3. So now let's check this. If we add negative 1 and negative 3, we get negative 4. So we know that this is right. So we can write out our answer, which is going to be x minus 1 times x minus 3. And that is our final answer. Now we have x squared minus 9x minus 36. Now, instead of having one subtraction, we have 2 subtractions. So what is this going to mean for us in terms of m and n? What this means is that m and n are opposite signs. How do I know this? If you have negative m and you multiply it by positive n, you're going to get a negative c value. And if you have a negative m and a positive n, well, in this case, you could get a positive or a negative b value. In our case, it's negative. So basically what this means is that anytime you see a negative c value, then you know that your m and your n are opposite signs. Keeping this in mind, let's solve our next problem. We'll start off by listing out the factors of negative 36. So since it's a negative 36, The factors we're going to list out are going to be both negative and positive. So basically, for the factors of 36, you can have negative 1 times positive 36, or positive 1 times negative 36. Both of these give us negative 36. So we're going to do this with all of the factors. So here is our list of factors. Now, going from here, we have to add all of these together and see which one brings us a negative 9. So let's see. Negative 1 plus 36 is 35, so that's not it. 1 plus negative 36 gives us negative 35, which is also not it. Negative 2 plus 18 gives us 16, so that's not it. And 2 plus negative 18 gives us negative 16, so that's also not it. Negative 3 plus 12 gives us positive 9, so that's not it. Our next one has 3 and negative 12, which gives us negative 9, which is the one that we want. So we're not going to cross that one out. Let's keep on going and check the rest. So that leaves us with only one crossed out, which is our 3, negative 12. So from here, we can write out that x plus 3 times x minus 12 is our answer. So that's it for today, guys. I hope everything was clear and easy to understand. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Also, be sure to put your questions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!